Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. As-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta 'alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi waladdallin. Amin. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine how limber you'd be if you did that 17 times a day? And it's done in the direction of Mecca, northeast, more or less. To hit that reset button in order to come back, to hear that voice still and small like we just sang about, to come back to what matters. So practical, I love that, the second pillar of Islam. Islam also reminds us to always be concerned about those who are less well off than ourselves. Over and over in the Quran it says, be concerned about the widows and orphans. Be generous. I brought some soup as a symbol of generosity, giving, donating to food banks, giving to people who need food. I think about Muhammad almost like a spiritual, a social genius. He himself was an orphan. By the time he was 6 years old, he had already lost both his parents. He knew marginality. He knew it. And what happens when there is imbalance in a society where there are some who have a lot and some who don't have enough? What happens here? Those who don't have enough are suffering, aren't they? Out of their lack of nutrition, food, healthcare, hygiene, educational opportunities, they suffer. And in their suffering, they may experience illness. Their illness doesn't stay there, does it? It spreads to the rest of the people. And in their need, they may choose to engage in criminal activity just to try to put food on the table. And that destabilizes the whole society when you have some without and some with too much. And what about the people with too much? Greed is spiritual bankruptcy. We cannot know well-being in our hearts when we are surrounded with too much while others are suffering. It creates instability. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was a spiritual genius, saying, let's bring it back into balance. Let's give. Let's be generous. And this is the third pillar of Islam, zakat, generosity. I love that about Islam. And I love, too, that Islam invites us to take a break from our habits. We humans, we're habitual creatures. We just are. We do something once, we do it again, we just do. How many of you are sitting in the same seat you always sit in today? That's okay, nothing wrong with that. We're creatures of habit. And if the habit's a good one, like brushing your teeth, wonderful. It strengthens you. Your habits can raise you up to give you strength and clarity to live your life on purpose with integrity. Or your habits can pull you down. To take a break from your habits, because what happens when you try to take a break from your habit, when you try to stop reaching for whatever it is and you cannot? What is it for you? Coffee? Sugar? Alcohol? Drugs? Sex? Shopping? Your cell phone? Your tablet? Gossip? What is it for you, this behavior that you're caught in? You know it's not worthy of your best self, and yet there you are. It's addiction, isn't it? when we can't stop reaching for it. We can't stop doing it. And yet your life is so valuable, you matter. And to live your life on purpose and to cultivate the habits that raise you and strengthen you so you can be your most beautiful, best, loving, caring, giving self. So to take a break from your habits so you see who's in the driver's seat in your life and put yourself back in the driver's seat. Whatever it is for you, there are other people in this room who have also struggled with addiction in this way and who have overcome it. You can get help. You can do it. Your life matters. It's valuable. This is the next pillar of Islam, fasting. Fasting not just from food, but fasting from other activities and behaviors as well. And when we fast from food in particular, and it says over again and again in the Quran, fasting is good for you if you only knew.